So without further ado, let me bring the next speaker to the stage. My friend Atul Mehra is a registered psychotherapist based in Toronto area and the founder of Jagrin Psychoanalysis and Wellness Center. Known as the Anxiety Alchemist, he has guided thousands of clients through over 27 hours of sessions. He blends in deep psychology, somatic awareness, and practical strategies to address anxiety's root causes. Moving beyond symptoms toward true integration, he is the author of The Unseen Wisdom of the Unborn and the Need for Disease, and a sought-after speaker who inspires individuals and organizations to see anxiety as a powerful message. He shared the stage with some of the world's most powerful speakers, including Deepak Chopra and many other people in the mental health field. But I'm going to let him share his story. Let's bring him to the virtual stage. I want to give you a big round of applause for my friend Atul Mehra, who's going to give you an amazing insight onto anxiety and how you can integrate it in your life. Atul, come on video here and let's welcome him to the stage. Hello, my friend. How are you?
Hi, how are you, Manny? Can you hear me well?
We can hear you and we can see you, and the stage is now yours, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. And I'm so glad to be here with you today. And let me begin with a simple question. Have you ever looked calm on the outside while inside your mind was running? Like you had 3 coffees, 2 deadlines, and 1 unresolved childhood issue. Have you ever received a message that said, "Can we talk?" And suddenly your nervous system started preparing a court case? Yes, my friends, that is anxiety. It can make intelligent people feel weak, and it can make leaders feel uncertain. It can make successful people like they are secretly failing, and it can make you feel that can create lots of imposter syndrome. Hello, friends. My name is Atul Mehra, and I am anxiety alchemist, coach, speaker, and psychotherapist. And today I want to offer you a different way to look at anxiety. Not an enemy, not as an enemy, not as weakness, but as a message. So, before we go deeper, let me briefly share why this matters to me. So, I do not come to this work only from theory. I know, and everybody knows, that books are helpful, training is helpful, and science is helpful. But the body does not always speak in textbook languages. My work has grown from years of listening to people, listening to symptoms, listening to fear, and listening to the stories the body carries inside. I have published lots of books on unconscious mind-body connection, illness, and emotional healing. And I have had the opportunity to present on international platforms where some globally respected voices in healing and personal growth were also featured. Recently, I have been selected for recognition as visionary leader in psychotherapy and anxiety transformation in UK. I am grateful for these things. But the real reason this work matters is simple. I'm not sharing all of this to impress you. I'm sharing it because these experiences, along with my client work, brought me again and again to one truth. People are not only anxious. Yes, people are not only anxious, they are often ashamed of being anxious because they don't want to show themselves anxious. So they do so many things to hide it. So let us begin with the central message of this talk. So anxiety is not a malfunction, it is a message. So, have you ever noticed when the anxiety appears in your head, what do? Do you listen to it or you attack yourself for having it? So, here is one sentence I want you to remember today. Anxiety is not a malfunction, it is a message. Let me say it again. Anxiety is not a malfunction, it is a message. But this does not mean anxiety is comfortable. It does not mean anxiety is pleasant. It does not mean you should enjoy it. When your chest gets tight before a meeting, it means anxiety may be carrying information. It may be showing you something, maybe a need for safety, a need for preparation, a need for support, a need for rest, a need for boundary, or a need for healing. So the question is not only how do I get rid of this, but the deeper question is, what is this trying to show me? What is trying to tell me? Now, most people never ask this question because they misunderstand anxiety from the beginning. Most people feel anxiety when it appears, they get anxious or they start criticizing themselves because anxiety has terrible public relations. Nobody wakes up and says, wonderful, I feel I have an anxious day today. Nobody puts chest tightness on a vision board. Okay, I'm going to have it. And nobody says, my goal this year is more racing thoughts and more fear of emails. But instead, everybody wants calm, clarity, maybe confidence, maybe want to perform well, and you want to lead well, you want to communicate well. And you are waiting for all these things, and suddenly anxiety enters in the room. And it does not enter politely. It just, bursts the door like an unwanted guest who did not read the invitation. And suddenly you hesitate, you overthink, and you avoid the conversation. You rewrite the email maybe 8 times, and you still don't send it. Because now the email has become a psychological thriller. And here is the tighter truth. The problem is not anxiety. The problem is the meaning you give to anxiety. If anxiety means I'm weak, you add shame. If anxiety means I'm broken, you add fear. And if anxiety means I'm failing, you add pressure. So now you have anxiety plus shame, anxiety plus fear, and anxiety plus pressure. And many more other thoughts. And this is like, how we can say, this is like having a small fire in the kitchen and you're pouring gasoline on it because you are disappointed in the fire. And sometimes the anxiety is not only about the present moment. Oh. In 1 second. Okay. Today, anxiety is not about the present moment. Sometimes anxiety has touched yesterday. Is this anxiety really about today, or today has touched something older? Yes, sometimes today has touched yesterday. A meeting today may touch an old fear of criticism. Feedback today may touch an old fear of rejection. A mistake today may touch an old belief, the belief that says, I'm not good enough. So anxiety may look like it belongs to today, but sometimes it carries yesterday. It carries unfinished emotional information. It can carry old fear. It can carry old meaning. And this is why when somebody gives you an advice, calm down. It does not work. The body does not calm down because someone gives you a motivational slogan, hey, don't worry, everything is going to be all right. The body calms when it feels heard. The body calms when it feels safe, when it feels understood. So the first shift is simple. Stop asking, what is wrong with me? Instead, start asking, what is happening inside me? What is going on inside me? Because the first question creates shame and the second creates awareness, and awareness is where transformation begins. This is also why anxiety matters so much in today's workplace. So, where does anxiety show up for me at work? Ask this question to yourself. Just take awareness of that, because today's workplace is not only busy, today's workplace is nervous. People are not only tired, they are overloaded with so much work carrying on their shoulders. They are not only distracted, they are carrying invisible pressures for performance. And this is where my professional experience becomes very clear. Many clients come to me saying, I just want this anxiety to go away. I just want it out of my body. And I understood that when anxiety is painful, of course, you don't want to have it, just want it gone. But I begin to notice something. When we only tried to reduce the symptoms, anxiety often returned. Maybe another meeting, another relationship, maybe before another decision, maybe at night when the mind would not stop. It was like putting a beautiful cover on a phone that was still ringing. The phone looked better, but someone was really calling, still calling. And I also had to look at myself. There were moments when I wanted discomfort to disappear completely, quickly. I wanted that feeling gone. I wanted clarity immediately. But slowly, through my own inner work and through sitting with clients, I realized something. The deeper question was not only how do I stop this feeling, but the deeper question was, what is this feeling connected to? What this feeling is trying to tell me? And that changed everything. Anxiety became not only a symptom, it became a doorway, a pathway. So having that said, in the workplace, anxiety may not say I'm anxious. It may shows up as control, silence, maybe perfectionism, avoidance, reactivity, or burnout. An anxious leader may not say, I feel anxious and I'm afraid of mistakes. Instead, they may say, I want this change again. And likewise, an anxious employee may not say, I do not feel safe speaking up. Instead, they might not say anything and they slowly start disengaging. So let us look at what anxiety is trying to do underneath the surface. So I want you to ask you a question. What is your modern tiger? So anxiety is connected to protection. Your nervous system is designed to scan for danger. That is not a flaw, that is survival. So imagine if a tiger is chasing you, then anxiety is not a problem. Anxiety is an excellent customer service from your survival system. It gives you energy, it sharpens attention, it prepares you to act. But the problem is this: today's tiger is usually not a tiger. The tiger is an email, a deadline, a difficult conversation in office, or maybe you're getting a feedback, or maybe you have to do a presentation. Maybe you are scared that others are going to judge you, or you are trying to disappointing someone, or not feeling enough. So your body may react. as if there is a danger. And even when the danger can be emotional, it can be social, it can be professional. Your logical mind says this is only a meeting. But inside, your body says, no, this is danger. And this is why you cannot always think your way out of anxiety. The body may be responding faster than the logic. And this brings us to one of the most important body-based truths. And that is that the body remembers. So just ask yourself, have you ever known when you were safe, but your body still reacted? Sometimes your mind says, it was nothing. It's a simple thing. But the body says, it is still there, affecting me, hurting me. You may say, I know I should not feel nervous or anxious, but body does not care what you should feel or what you should not feel. The body cares what feels safe. And sometimes growth does not feel safe. For example, a promotion can create anxiety. Speaking on stage can create anxiety. A new relationship can create anxiety. And becoming visible can create anxiety. Not because these things are bad, but because they are unfamiliar. The nervous system does not only ask, is that good? It also asks, is this familiar? Sometimes your next level feels unsafe simply because it is new. So anxiety is not always a stop sign. Sometimes it's a signal to pause, signal to listen, signal to prepare or to support yourself and move consciously. The goal is not to become a person who never feels anxiety, because otherwise you will be dead, because anxiety is natural. The goal is to understand anxiety without being ruled by it. But now you can understand, when you can observe anxiety, it means you are not your own arm, you're not your own hand. So you can separate yourself. It is like when you eat chicken and you cannot digest it, it means you are chicken. So understanding that you may be seeing anxiety now differently, that anxiety is not a malfunction, not as weakness, but as a message. But a message is only useful if you know how to understand it. And now I want to give you a simple way to do that. So I call it the N.A.M.E process. This is where I use the N.A.M.E process. As it says, N.A.M.E is a simple method, and it helps you to stop fighting anxiety and begin decoding it, deciphering it. Because when anxiety is unnamed, it becomes bigger. It becomes mysterious, it becomes frightening. But when you name it, you create a space. You are no longer drowning inside the feeling, but you are observing it. And that is what, like I was giving example before, if I say, are you your arm? And if you say yes, then you forget that you have other parts of body, because you cannot love yourself in parts. So when you say, I am not my arm, so you are looking at your arms from other perspective, and that's exactly is anxiety. So when you can observe it, you are not completely controlled by it. And here is the line to remember: when anxiety appears, do not fight it, name it. And name stands for N for notice, A for ask, M for meaning, and E for enact. In simple words, locate it, listen to it, decode it, and answer it. So let us start with notice. So what exactly is notice? The first step is notice. Notice means you stop saying what is wrong with me and you start saying what is happening inside me. Anxiety often begins in the body before the mind understands it. It means first happens in the body and then you take aware, oh, it's like you go outside and you feel hot. First you feel it and then you say. So the same way, first body feels it and then mind understands it. So you may notice, maybe let us say, tightness in the chest, or maybe heaviness in the stomach, a dry throat, like a clenched jaw, and tension in the shoulders, racing thoughts, or maybe sometime you feel that urge to avoid. So next time, do not attack it, do not shame it, and do not rush to fix it. Simply say, I notice tightness. Acknowledge it. I notice fear, I notice pressure, and I notice I want to avoid this conversation. Take awareness of that. Observe that part, because that small space matters. Instead of saying, I'm anxiety, you begin to say, I am noticing anxiety. And this way, you are separating yourself from anxiety. So notice means locate it without judgment. So now, once you locate it, you can listen to it, which is the second part. Oh, I think something is happening. Not very good name process. This is notice, ask. Okay, there you are. So asking is very important, because the second step is to ask, because this is how you're trying to communicate with your anxiety. So after you notice anxiety, ask, what is this anxiety trying to show me? Not how I want to get rid of it, or I just want to get rid of it. No. You cannot say why I'm so weak, because if you're going to say I'm so weak, then you are again becoming a part of anxiety, rather than moving away from anxiety and look at it from different perspective. Likewise, some people say, oh, why I can't be normal? So ask with curiosity, what is this trying to show me? This question changes your relationship with anxiety. Instead of complaining and judging your anxiety, you start understanding it. You stop interrogating yourself like a criminal, and you start listening to yourself like a human being, because you cannot love yourself in parts. Anxiety is a part of you, and you have to accept it and understand it. Because maybe this anxiety is showing you need preparation. Maybe you need a boundary. Maybe you need support. Maybe you are carrying too much. Maybe this situation reminds you of something old. Ask means listen before reacting. And then we go deeper meaning of anxiety. The third part is meaning. So it is not many people know about it, that how that meaning works. Sometimes they tell you to take awareness of the anxiety, but if you don't decipher it, it's always going to come again and again. So third step is meaning. This is where you go deeper. So two people can feel anxious in the same situation, but the meaning can be different. For example, before a presentation, one person may think, oh, this matters to me. And another may think, if I make one mistake, people will think I'm stupid. Same situation, different meaning. So before a difficult conversation, one person may think, you know what, I don't like conflicts. I just accept it. Other may think, if I speak honestly, I may be abandoned or I may be judged. Same situation, different meaning. So this is why generic advice does not always work. Anxiety is personal. The message is personal and the meaning is personal. And meaning is where anxiety stops being noise and start becoming information. So next time, ask yourself, what does this situation mean to me? What old fear is being touched? What is required underneath this feeling? Meaning means decode the message. And once the message is clearer, you need to respond. And that brings us to the fourth part of anxiety, is Enact. So Enact is where the awareness you get becomes action, because insight without action can become a kind of or another form of overthinking. And some people do not need more thoughts. Their mind already has a premium membership because they are thinking and thinking every now and then. So Enact means you do not understand the message, you answer it. If anxiety shows you that you need preparation, prepare for 20 focused minutes. If it shows that you need a boundary, say no respectfully. Learn to say no. And if it shows you that you need support, ask for help. If it shows you that you are overwhelmed, then you need to pause and choose the next priority. Reaction says, I feel anxious, so I avoid. But response says, I feel anxious, so I listen. So that is the big difference. And so Enact means answer anxiety with one small conscious reaction. So now let us practice this in a simple way. So let us learn. I think we are. So now I want to go through a short reset, and I want you to practice with me, see how it helps you to get the idea what we are talking here. So you do not need to share anything. Do not need to close your eyes if you don't want, but if you can close, nothing like that unless you want to. So I want you to take a gentle breath. Let us practice that. Find a very, very, relaxed place. I mean, put your hands maybe on your, maybe you can put your legs, completely relaxed. Find a relaxed posture and take a gentle breath, and no need a dramatic breath. No need to inhale like you are doing yoga documentary, just a normal breath. And take a long and deep breath. And now bring to mind a mild stressful situation. Mild, not the biggest trauma of your life, not the thing that will make your nervous system hire a liar. Just something small, maybe an email, a meeting, a deadline, a conversation. And now notice your chest. So bring any feeling into your mind and take awareness of your body. Notice your body. How's that sensations maybe in your chest, stomach, throat, shoulders, jaw, hands, head. Just notice. No judgment. Just take and ask, what is this anxiety trying to show me? What is this anxiety trying to tell me? Now ask, what might be the deeper meaning here? And now ask, what is one small conscious action I can make? And now take one gentle breath and come back. And this is simple, but simple does not mean shallow. Now, let me show you what this looks like in a real transformation. Let me share a story. So let me share a story, a client story, and I will protect personal details. So a client came to me with very strong anxiety around work. So from the outside, this person was, capable, professional, responsible, healthy, but inside every meeting, felt very heavy. And every feedback conversation when he got from his boss felt like threatening to his job and or something else. So every small mistake he felt, it was like a personal failure. And he says, Atul, look, I can't make mistakes. I don't know what's going to happen. So at first, he said, I think this is the workplace anxiety because when I'm home, I don't feel it. But when I'm with my boss, I feel it more. But we started doing some work and we started listening to him, the deeper message which he was carrying. And when the message got clear, then he found that anxiety was not saying you cannot handle meetings, but it was saying when you are evaluated, you do not feel safe. So every time he has that evaluation, because after the meeting or presentation, because there is evaluation, and he's a very big, IT guy, and he said, I'm scared of that evaluation. And there was a shift inside his life. That client began noticing the body earlier, asking better questions, understanding the meaning, and taking new actions. And one day I remember he said, I still feel something before feedback, but now I don't feel that I'm controlled by it anymore. And that is transformation, not the absence of anxiety, but a new relationship with anxiety. And this is the work, this is why the work can continue beyond a single talk. It goes much beyond, it goes to much more deeper meaning. And this is what I'm trying to do. I am trying to support individuals and organization. Something, a talk like this can open the door and can create awareness, but deeper change needs practice, guidance, and a process. A keynote can create awareness. A workshop, can build skill, but coaching creates personal transformation, but the therapeutic works explores the deeper message. So these are the things I'm helping with coaching, with therapeutic work, workshops, awareness, and trying to go through it as per the individual needs, as per the tailor-made program, because every person has its own process. So let us say one person can heal faster, other can heal, other can take more times, because the messages coming from unconscious minds are different for every person. So I also have this 7-day anxiety alchemist reset. It's a very simple course which I have created. So it's a new way to see anxiety. So the 7-day anxiety alchemist reset gives you a simple way to practice it. It is not a promise, because many of you will feel that it's a promise that anxiety disappears in 7 days. No, it is a practical reset. So each day gives you one focus, one practice, and one reflection, and you begin using the N.A.M.E process. And in real life, there are around 7 days audio meditations, 2 videos, and it's available for a special price for $97. So if this is what you are looking for, then course is your next step. And now I want to leave you with the message we begin with. Oh. So I want to leave you with this. Before you ask what is wrong with me, ask what is happening inside me. Before you silence anxiety, ask, what is this trying to show me? Maybe nothing is wrong with you. Maybe something inside you is asking to be heard. Remember the N.A.M.E process. Notice, ask, meaning, enact. And when anxiety appears, do not fight it. Name it, because anxiety is not a malfunction. It is a message. And when you stop fighting the message, you begin listening to it, you may discover anxiety was never trying to destroy you. It was trying to bring you back to yourself. So with this message, thank you very much. And if you have any question, you are welcome.
Wow, Atul. Wow. That was amazing. Thank you for that insightful and dazzling presentation. And I think what's important is, ladies and gentlemen, you can ask Atul now any questions that you wish. But I think what's powerful about that is we want to resist anxiety, right? Atul, most of us want to push it away, but you're saying that's not the case, right?
Yeah, many we have been taught fight with yourself. Let us say if you have something wrong, eliminate it. So we are always taught to have struggle between us. We were never taught to become one, because if we say, if let us say if we find out the meaning of the word health comes from the word hell, means totality, oneness, not divided. So when we are taught reject one thing inside you and accept other things, we are in constant fight with ourselves. We are constantly creating that struggle in our own life, because we think our analytical mind says, oh, this is right, other says it is wrong. So there is a very special case. There is a very it is a real story, true story. A one woman goes to a church for confession, and then she is in front of priest and say, tell me, my child, how I can help you. So the he says, father, I want to confess that my husband loves me no more. He said, okay, that's strange. You should pray to God, and God is going to fill your husband's heart with love. He said, father, but you don't understand. Said, why? He said, I have been coming since last 3 months to church every day, and I'm putting candle there, I'm praying to God, I'm helping poor people, doing volunteer work, but it seems that God has closed his ears and he doesn't want to listen to me. And now the priest gets a little bit nervous. Said, but my child, tell me, how do you know that God doesn't love you? And tell me how your husband doesn't love you. He said, I think God doesn't love me because he's not listening to me. And my husband doesn't love me because he has stopped hitting me. So, that is really pathetic. It should not happen. But when we look from unconscious perspective, we need to understand what is that thing inside me which is making me attract those kind of experiences. I have worked with many PTSD guys, with policemen, with the general in the army in Ecuador, and with more than 20,000 sessions in my life since last more than 20 years. And the one thing I have realized, that more we are disconnected from our inner self, more we attract kind of mental or physical problems. What if there are, let us say, 8 billion people in the world, and there are more than 100,000 different physical or mental symptoms in the world, and those 8 billion people are trying to express themselves through those 100,000 symptoms, and beneath all of it, there is only one thing which is happening. And you can, if you can decipher that thing and work on that thing, it can create miracles. You can have anything in you want, because that is what we need to understand: the self-consciousness, self-awareness. What for I'm creating that thing? What is that thing which making me bring all these experiences? Because it is very, very easy to point someone with a finger, that person has done that thing to me. Like, I remember I was with Dr. John Gray, and we are in this panel discussion, and we are talking about forgiveness. So everybody is saying beautiful thing, but I think I was the only rebel, and I said forgiveness for me is a therapy of an asshole. I forgive you, but I don't forget you, because unconscious mind, that experience is there since you were a baby, since you were a sperm till now. You have different stories, you have different experiences. So every story is trying to look for its happy ending. And if you don't have that happy ending, this thing is going to cause something in the future. This thing is going to be expressed through anxiety or maybe through fear of abandonment. So it is very important to understand where that problem came. I have a client who found the origins of his tumor in mother's womb, and she was surprised that how those things can happen. So that is why it becomes very important. The work on self is one of the most important thing. We are living in a world where if you are not efficient, you are worth nothing. That thing pushes you down and you carry that weight and then brings, the conditions. If you have this, if you have this, you have this, you have a right to exist. So first to have, then to be. But we forget first we have to be, and then we can have anything. So we give importance to other things and pushing ourselves, trying to fill that emptiness, and it becomes a black hole. And then you have all those mental or physical problem which has even no ending. So it is very important for us to understand ourselves, look at ourselves, take responsibility of everything that is happening in our life, take responsibility of everything that has happened in our life, and taking responsibility that what would happen in our life, because we are the creator of our reality. You cannot hide beneath a victim mask and say, oh, that person has done that thing to me. Then you are always going to be like dominated by that person. Every time the idea of this person comes into your head, then your emotions trigger. And once your emotions trigger, you start thinking bad about this person, you start hurting yourself, and then the conflict starts and you're not able to control, and you are going to ruin maybe time with your family members. You get angry, you get sad. So this thing is always going to be dominate you. So it's very easy to hide beneath the victim mask. But if I remove this mask, it's scary. It's a part of my skin. So, but then only you say, if I have created it, I can change it too. And then the power comes, and then you move more towards your inner self. Because remember, you cannot love yourself in parts. Everything that happens in you is natural. All emotions are natural, whether good or bad, created by you. Poop can be dirty for mother, but a 4 years old child, it can be gold because it's yellow in color. So we need to understand those connections of unconscious mind, because like Carl Jung said, until and unless you make your unconscious conscious, that will direct your life and you will call it fate. Thank you.
Amazing. Wow, wow, wow. Some amazing wisdom from Atul. I just want to address a question in the chat from well, first of all, you got some good messages. Rab, great message. We got some, prayers from Giovanna. Beautiful message by Rose. Taylor says, thank you. How powerful. Listen to our bodies. We're not broken. But we got a question from Hamilton. Can psychotherapy help someone with autism and PSD? Autism, PSD.
I have a very good news. That now autism has become the part of Asperger, right? So I was talking to my therapist friends in Ecuador, and they're, all doctors and psychiatrists. And I had, one client of autism. I didn't attend it. So, but they said that they did. So in our therapeutic process, we work like a whole life therapy. So let us say if you are 30 years old, you did minimum 30 session, and you go backward 30, 29, 28, 10, 9, 8, 3, 2, 1, and mother's womb 9, 8, 3, 2, 1, and 0 year therapy finishes. And we work 1 year of, we do one session of 1 year of every event going from that age to the mother's womb. So for example, it can take maybe from few months to few years to work on whole life therapy. So we bring up all the problems, all the issues you ever had, and we make peace with it and we put it back. So what they told me, they said they worked with the father and they worked with the mother and they worked with the child, adult child, and they were able to say goodbye to that Asperger symptoms, which was also a part of autism. So yes, it is possible, but unfortunately, those kind of therapeutic processes is not available here in Canada. But of course, in my work, I have seen that children up to 10 years issues they have, I don't work with them. I work with the mother they get better. So for example, I had few kids who had bedwetting, and there was one daughter, she was 3 years old, and she was not leaving mother's nipple. She wanted to have that. So we worked with the mother and they got better. So yes, everything is possible, but you need to find right question, because if you don't ask right question, you don't get right answers. There are lots of therapeutic processes available. So of course you can go ahead. There are very good possibilities for anything in life, because everything is possible, and it's all up to you that how you can find it. And if you want, of course, I'm not doing those sessions as many as I used to do before, but of course we can find, you can contact me later, and I can talk to my doctor's friend there and ask them if someone is available to do those sessions in English. Then, because they all speak Spanish language, so if it is available, we can, definitely I can give you that contact.
Perfect. And maybe we can drop Atul's email in the chat. Atul, maybe you want to drop your email there so people can get a hold of you. That's amazing. And I want you to briefly, before we end your thing here, is Atul, talk about your book for a minute, man. You got a couple good books. I'm seeing behind you got The Need for Disease. Let's tell us about your books, man, because this is so fascinating.
So my first book is Amazon bestseller, The Unseen Wisdom of the Unborn: What a Baby Feels Inside Mother's Womb. So that is my experience with more than 20,000 sessions I've done with different clients, and what baby felt in mother's womb, and how those problems manifested later in life. I mean, how they got the anxiety or depression from the mother, and if more of those situations added in their life, then they started creating those situations in adult life, and that was their unconscious pathological way of connecting with the mother. The second book, The Need for Disease, it talks about that when some of your incidents, some of your phases of different parts of your life from mother's womb or childhood was not integrated, then your body expresses them through symptoms. So there can be mental symptoms, there can be physical symptoms. So now mental symptoms can switch from mental symptoms can switch from mental symptom to physical symptom, and vice versa. So for example, you are feeling angry and you hold your anger, and suddenly you feel that your heart palpitation goes up, and you might feel perspiration in your palm, because those symptoms are manifesting there. So there is a very interesting, I think in chapter 6 or 7, the Need for Disease, there is a correlation between different diseases, how they manifest on physical level and how they manifest on mental level. And it's a study done by Dr. Vernon Meinhold in Germany. Then the third book is From Holiday Anxiety to Inner Peace. So, let us say what happens then when we are in festivals. Let us say we are having a Christmas, and then we feel that anxiety. Okay, who is going to organize if my brother is a bully, and what is going to happen if I take, how many gifts I should buy, what should be the worth, what should I cook, etc. So all those anxiety which we feel during holidays. So that book is, my clients' experiences and how they used it, and some techniques related to that. The other book is translated into Spanish. That is the same, The Unseen Wisdom of the Unborn. And my new book is coming, Say Yes to Anxiety. And because anxiety is not a malfunction, it is a message. So it's there are around 21 chapters on different themes, and it's all humor, sarcasm. It's I mean, one of that is like, you don't buy your anxiety from a supermarket. Imagine that you go to a supermarket and there is, this stall there, and there is a promotion going on: buy one anxiety pack and get 2 bottles of panic attacks for free. So it doesn't happen like that, because we create our own disease, we create our own anxiety, we don't buy it. So we can understand it, because all the questions are inside you, and also all the answers. You already know all the answers, but we need to take those answers to the unconscious mind, because the only person who can heal you is you and nobody else.
Pretty empowering though, right? If we created something, we can uncreate it and create something new. So that's really amazing. Atul, thank you so much for bringing us your wisdom. You're such an amazing person. Thank you. I'm honored to know you. And thank you for taking time out of your schedule to come speak today at the World Healing Summit. And you're amazing. And I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. The audience thanks you as well. And we hope to see you on more stages. We're getting claps from Rav. So thank you so much, Atul. Lindsay said great advice. Thank you. So, my brother, thank you so much for sharing the stage, and have a wonderful rest of the day, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Manny. Pleasure is all mine. Bye.
Thank you.